I'm a house painter, that's how I felt, this other fellow also. And he smashed his leg, his foot actually, not his leg, but his foot. And the doctors said that they'd never seen anything that smashed before. It was pretty impressive, but they were able to keep the foot. That was probably 15 years ago, and to this day, every step, it just hurts like the dickens. And I'm like, I got the better end of that deal. I mean, him, every step hurting, and me, you know, the pain got cut off. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I'm not him. Obviously, there's pluses and minuses. This has nothing to do with anything, but years ago when I was a tournament table tennis player, I had a few friends who were wheelchair players. And the first time I played with this one guy, I asked him straight out. I said, okay, if I try to take advantage of your handicap? He said, please do. He was so eager for someone to just straight up try to beat him from his handicap. So I served the ball way over in the corner, and he just leaned the chair over, so he was resting on his hand, basically sideways, and just smashed the ball back in my face. It was so cool. His parents had to make a decision when he was young. Either we spend all our time and money on getting him to walk, or spend all that time and money on his education. And they chose education. I don't have any judgment one way or the other, but it's a fascinating position to be in. What would you choose? Why would you choose that? They made a choice. It's just a fascinating situation to be in. It's just about time for us to get started. An old friend of mine who I used to play table tennis with in my competition days. Okay, so as we can see, this is going to be, before I say who it is, we were down to 0 in the LGD fund, and most of you saw I put up a sign and said, you know, it's been great, had 4 years, and bye-bye. And then someone said, I would like to donate 1 lesson, and they had an idea of how they would like it run, which was half review a game, which is this, and half create our own game. And so that's what we're doing because the donor wanted it. Yeah, this is the review. So, this will bring us back down to 0. So, as always, feel free to donate if you all want to continue. Okay, so it's Mr. Yang versus Jimmy Cha. And there's a number of spots in here I thought were interesting. Very regular opening. And we know its biggest area. So when you say top right, is that A or C? Adlar, A, right. How do we tell which one of these is bigger? Certainly similar, no doubt about that. Yes. Let's make that top black stone the same value. See, once you put that tail on it, it adds benefit. So let's put it this way. Let's say white comes this way and we pinch. Look at the entire moil black is building. That's a real plus. Right, so B is bigger than A. The right is bigger than the top. On the right, A is biggest, B is a very popular second choice. Totally huge, Not as big as A, but totally huge, not lacking. And C is still acceptable, but not popular at all, because it just doesn't do much. Black still makes the widest Moyo type move. And there's a few ideas here. Let's look at them. One, black just respond. If white comes in, let's do this just a second. If black comes in, white defends. Black has 2 weak stones. Black needs to be doing some defense. White gets to start killing. So one wonders, why'd you put that stone in there? Now there's a reason, but we see everything's in order. Okay. So now let's say this first in here. Let's try the invasion again. White comes out. Black is already defended. He can come this way. A little harder for white. White might be interested in simply fixing, but that gives black this kind of situation. So there's some ins and outs. Black plays here, and we'll talk about why in a minute. Black played high in order to open up the top area. And white got both. White got S16. Not modern. It's interesting that Jimmy Cha allowed this. I'd be interested in his mental state when he did it. He usually plays much sharper than that. What's next move? Oh, and we're going to, I said that we're going to look at why A. You notice that A is a bit of a thorn in white's flesh. A little thorn in the side there going, you have to worry about me. And we'll see that A stone move out quickly. R3, R6, C, 10. F17. Okay. What do we think about this? Can anyone make a statement about why it's small? Swede's got it so far. It's low. RJ's got it, extending from a small group, from a strong group. It's like playing this move. White's already alive. Why is he adding another stone there? All it does is give black 4 points in Gote on a group that doesn't have any needs. So because of that low, small stone, the triangles are a small area, high or low. It's just a small area. So that's why D's not so good. D. I'm going to move L17 one to the left. We see it here often. Right, there's a regular extension. Now, playing it makes sense. Can someone tell me why? If it's black's move. For black to play here makes sense. M17 is open. What does that have to do with this extension? Yes, because this white move has Sente value. White can get 3 moves because of that gap. Therefore, if it's black's move, we often see black playing here. So now it's hard for white to find a Sente move in there because there's too many black stones. We often see that. But on our board position, there's no Sente there. So that E also is not a big area. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Get rid of E.